Let me paint you a picture. You're 28 years old. You just got promoted. Your salary jumped from $55,000 to $72,000 a year. You're sitting in your $1,800 a month apartment, scrolling on that iPhone 15 Pro you deserved to buy on installments, thinking to yourself, finally, I can actually live a little. So you open your 401k app and see those $8,000 just sitting there. Pathetic, right? But then you think, whatever, I'm 28. I've got until 65. That's like forever. You close the app. Because you just saw a Ford Bronco that would fit perfectly into your new budget. $650 a month for 72 months. Just this once, you tell yourself. After this, I'll focus on retirement. Fast forward 20 years. You're 48. Your 401k has $140,000 in it. Seems like a lot, doesn't it? Until you open a retirement calculator and realize you're going to need $2.1 million to retire comfortably at 65. The panic hits. Your chest tightens. You think, how did I let this happen? Where did all that time go? Here's the spoiler. It wasn't your fault. My name is Sam, and I spend way too much time thinking about why the retirement system is designed to fail you so you don't have to. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Now, let's talk about how you got here. You were caught in a system that was never optimized for your success. The Social Security Act of 1935 set the retirement age at 65 during the Great Depression. Here's the context they don't usually mention. In 1935, life expectancy at birth for American men was about 60 years old. While it's true that millions of Americans did reach 65 and collected benefits, the system was designed in an era with fundamentally different demographics and economic conditions. The point is, the 65 retirement age was established nearly a century ago, and we've been living with that arbitrary number ever since, even though life expectancy, career spans, and the entire economy have transformed. But here's the real enemy. It's not just the system. It's something called the hedonic treadmill. This is a concept from behavioral psychology that explains why no matter how much more money you make, you never feel richer. You get that promotion from $55,000 to $72,000. What happens? That $1,200 apartment becomes $2,400. The Honda Civic becomes a $60,000 Ford F-150. The home-cooked meals become $45 DoorDash orders 3 times a week. You're running faster and faster on the treadmill, sweating, exhausted, but you're not moving forward. You're just staying in place. The invisible trap works like this. The system tells you to work until 65, while American culture bombards you with, you deserve it now. Credit card companies whisper in your ear. Car dealerships put you in vehicles you can't afford with 72-month loans. Lifestyle creep sneaks up on you so gradually, you don't even notice it's happening. And before you know it, you're 48 years old, staring at a retirement calculator, wondering where your future went. Now, you might be thinking, but Sam, I'll catch up later. I'll just contribute more when I'm older and making more money. That's what everyone thinks. And that's exactly the lie that's going to cost you millions. Literally millions. I'm going to show you why in a minute. But first, let me introduce you to the concept that changes everything. It's called the power of compound interest. Albert Einstein supposedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. He said, "Those who understand it earn it. Those who don't pay it." And institutions like Vanguard and Fidelity have run the numbers over and over again. The conclusion is always the same. Time in the market beats timing the market. But more importantly, starting early beats starting big. Here's the brutal truth in numbers. If you invest $500 a month from age 25 to 65, assuming the historical S&P 500 return of about 10% annually, you will have $3.16 million. That's 40 years of contributions, $24,000 invested per year, total contributions of $240,000. But your account balance? $3.16 million. Now let's say you wait. You're busy in your 20s and 30s, you've got student loans, you want to travel, you deserve that new car. So you start investing that same $500 a month at age 45. You contribute faithfully for 20 years until you're 65. Same monthly amount, Same market returns. Your total contributions are $120,000. Your final balance? $380,000. Let that sink in. You waited 20 years. You contributed half as much money, and you ended up with 12% of the wealth. You didn't lose a little bit. You lost $2.78 million. That is not a typo. That's the invisible cost of waiting. That's what procrastination actually costs in dollars and cents. But wait, it gets worse. Let me show you two people, Sarah and Mike. Sarah starts investing $400 a month at 25 years old. She does this for exactly 10 years. Then, at 35, she stops completely, never contributes another dollar. Total amount she invested? $48,000. Then there's Mike. Mike waits until 35 to start, same age Sarah stopped. But Mike is disciplined. He contributes that same $400 every single month for 30 years straight until he's 65. Total amount he invested? $144,000, 3 times what Sarah put in. Who do you think has more money at 65? If you said Mike, you'd be wrong. Sarah has $1.62 million. Mike has $904,000. Sarah invested 1/3 of what Mike invested, but ended up with almost double his wealth. How is that possible? She gave time to time. Those 10 years from 25 to 35 were worth more than the 30 years from 35 to 65. That's the power of exponential growth. That's the hidden advantage that nobody tells you about when you're young and broke and convinced you have time. Now, let's talk about what this actually looks like in your real life. Let's talk about that Ford F-150 you financed. $700 a month for 6 years. Total paid? $50,400. You drive it off the lot. You feel powerful. You feel successful. You deserve this, right? Fast forward 6 years. You own the truck. It's worth maybe $18,000 if you're lucky. You lost $32,000 in depreciation alone. But that's not the real cost. The real cost is this. If you had invested that same $700 a month into the S&P 500 from age 28 to 65, 37 years of contributions, you would have $3.26 million. Let me say that again. You traded $3.26 million for a truck that's now worth $18,000. That's the ghost wealth. The invisible fortune you'll never see because you made decisions based on what you deserved today instead of what you wanted tomorrow. And here's what makes this even more devastating. This isn't about one truck or one purchase. It's about a pattern. The upgraded apartment, the nicer vacation, the eating out instead of meal prepping. Each decision in isolation seems reasonable, but over a lifetime, these small choices compound, just like investments do. Except they compound in the wrong direction. They compound into debt, into stress, into golden handcuffs that keep you working a job you hate because you need the paycheck to maintain a lifestyle you can't actually afford. This is why about 1 in 4 American households are living paycheck to paycheck. This is why nearly 60% have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. This is why people work until they're 70. Not by choice, but by necessity. The system worked exactly as designed. You showed up, you worked. You consumed, you stayed in place. But here's what they don't want you to know. There's another way. It's called the FIRE movement. Financial independence, retire early. And it's not some fringe concept anymore. There are thousands of people who retired at 40, 45, 50 years old. Not because they won the lottery, not because they inherited money, because they understood what I'm telling you right now. Retirement isn't an age, it's a number. So let's talk about how you escape this trap. I'm going to give you 3 practical steps you can implement today, right now, before you click away from this video. Step 1. Reverse the 50-30-20 rule. You've probably heard the traditional budgeting advice. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings. That's garbage. That's the budget of someone who's going to work until they're 70. Here's the real formula. 50% for needs. Your rent or mortgage. Your basic food, your transportation to work. 30% for investments, your 401k, your Roth IRA, your index funds. 20% for lifestyle, the fun stuff, the upgrades, the you deserve it purchases. Most Americans do this completely backward. They spend 30 to 40% on lifestyle and save whatever's left over at the end of the month, which is usually nothing. But when you flip it, something magical happens. You start building wealth faster than your lifestyle can inflate. You break the hedonic treadmill because you never give yourself the chance to get on it in the first place. Step 2. Automate your freedom. This is the most important thing you'll do. Set up automatic transfers to your 401k before you ever see the money. If you never see those $600 hit your checking account, you'll never miss them. Start with 15% of your gross salary as a bare minimum. If you want to join the FIRE movement, you need to push that to 50 to 70%. I know that sounds impossible, but here's the thing. It's only impossible if you've already inflated your lifestyle. If you're 28 and just got that promotion, lock in your old lifestyle and invest the entire raise. Future you will thank you. Step 3. Calculate your Coast FIRE number. This is a game changer. Coast FIRE means you invest aggressively now until you hit a specific number. After that, you never contribute another dollar, but the money you've already invested grows on its own until you're 65. Let me give you an example. If you're 30 years old and you invest $75,000 today and never add another penny, with a 10% return, you'll have over $2.1 million by 65. That's your Coast number. Once you hit it, you can work part-time. You can switch careers to something you actually love that pays less. You can take a year off to travel because your future is already funded. You bought your freedom. Now, you might be thinking, Sam, this all sounds great, but I'm already 45. I already missed those early years. What's the point? Here's the point. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Yes, you lost time. Yes, it's going to be harder. But doing nothing guarantees you'll be working until you physically can't anymore. Starting today gives you a chance. Maybe you won't retire at 40, but you might retire at 58 instead of 75. That's 17 years of your life back. 17 years to travel while you can still walk. 17 years to spend with your grandchildren. 17 years of freedom. And here's what nobody tells you about retirement. The goal isn't actually to stop working. The goal is to reach a point where work becomes optional, where you do things because you want to, not because you have to. That's the real definition of wealth. Not how much money you have, but how much choice you have. Think about it. At 65, you'll finally have money. But will you have energy? Will you have your health? Will your parents still be alive? Will your kids still be young enough to want to spend time with you? Time is the one resource you can never get back. Money you can always make more of. Time just runs out. Warren Buffett started investing at 11 years old. Someone once asked him what his biggest regret was. He said, starting at 11, I should have started earlier. You're not 11. You might be 28, 35, 42, but you can still win this game. The question is, are you going to keep playing by the rules they gave you, or are you going to write your own? The retirement age of 65 is a scam. It was designed for a world that no longer exists, for life expectancies that are no longer relevant, for an economy that was fundamentally different. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to wait until you're too old to enjoy your freedom. You can start building your exit plan today. Retirement isn't about age, it's about freedom. And freedom is about making different choices than everyone around you. It's about driving a 10-year-old Toyota while your coworker finances a brand new BMW. It's about living in a smaller apartment while your friends stretch for the Instagram-worthy loft. It's about saying no to brunch every weekend so you can say yes to retiring 20 years early. Those choices feel like sacrifice today, but 20 years from now, they'll feel like the smartest thing you ever did. If this video helped you see your finances differently, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges how you think about money. Because the truth is, most people will watch this video, feel motivated for about 3 hours, and then go right back to their old patterns. They'll finance the car. They'll upgrade the apartment. They'll tell themselves they'll start next year. Don't be most people. The clock is running. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. And it definitely doesn't pause when you turn 65. I'll see you in the next one.